they laid me down and my tits were just out. Like, no one could like pull my fucking shirt down. Anyway, I'm sure they had other things in mind. I wouldn't want to think they were trying to take advantage of the situation. Hey guys, welcome back to Live, Love, Life, and Travel. This is your girl Shamika, and welcome to a Storytime Sunday when I share something with you about my travels, about my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as usual, there's going to be a lesson learned at the end. And this particular story time is going to be during my travel, so it's like a travel / storytime video. And if you're new here, welcome. Just to let you know, I do upload usually on the daily, and I upload my travel videos every Monday through Thursday, and then my free talk videos on the weekend. So if you're interested, please hit that subscribe button. So I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but this took place back on Koh Phangan when I was working at the party hostel that I got kicked out on the streets from. But this was actually like maybe a month before that actually happened. And I deal with a condition where my potassium can drop really low, and it runs in my family, and it can cause a slew of problems of physical health, emotional health, mental health. Like if you like having low potassium can also mimic like depression and anxiety and fatigue, chronic fatigue. And it messes up with your kidneys. And if you have low potassium, you can also go into seizure-like spasms. Like they look like seizures, but they're not neurological. It's just your muscles aren't able to contract like they're supposed to. Into these spasms that mimics seizures basically. You can also have temporary paralysis from having low potassium, which has also happened to me. Like it's gotten really bad like maybe twice in my whole life where I was hospitalized. It's something that I deal with. It's something I've been dealing with for a long time. I feel like it's been made worse when I was on the antidepressants. It seemed like it got way worse during that time, and I don't know if it has something to do with the antidepressants or my potassium issue just getting worse. But I've dealt with this issue for a really long time. It's sort of just a part of my life, so I don't really necessarily like tell people about it. I don't really like, hi, my name is Shamika, and just to let you know, I have a problem with my potassium. I kind of just know to take care of it. I take potassium supplements usually when I'm back at home. I eat plenty of things that have potassium in it, like bananas. And my body usually kind of tells me when something's wrong and I need to get some potassium in my system. So I feel like I do, for the most part, take care of myself and take care of the issue quite well. And I don't ever really feel a need to tell people about it. And plus, the thing is, a lot of people don't know about this, and people actually can have it and live with it for years before they realize there's an issue. I had it for a really long time before I ever knew that there was something really wrong with me. I just thought like I would just get really tired sometimes, and like I started having the seizures early on, but that's a whole nother story. And I probably will talk about that condition. I can't pronounce the name, but I'll talk about that condition in another video, because I do want to sort of tell people about it, because I do believe a lot of people have it that don't realize they have it, and then when people do have it and you tell people about it, they just kind of look at you like, I think you're lying, I think you're just lazy. Because when the low potassium sort of attack happens, it can pretty much put you in bed. You can't do anything. Like if you don't have good potassium in your system, your body literally starts to shut down and you cannot function, you cannot think straight. So it's hard to explain to people what's going on, and especially if they never heard of it, they think you're just lying, think you're lazy, or they think you're just making it up or something. So usually I don't really go into my issue with other people because I don't feel like it's necessary, or I feel like they're just gonna look at me like you've been on WebMD too much or something. But okay, so that was a long introductory. But so I've said in my other videos that, you know, I do usually take care of myself pretty well, but during this period of time where I was working at the party hostel, I was partying a lot, I was drinking a lot, I was going out a lot, I was doing more than drinking, and I wasn't getting a proper amount of sleep. So needless to say, I wasn't taking care of myself, and even though I was getting bananas in and stuff like that, but I still wasn't looking after my health as well as I could have been. And I guess all the partying, all the lack of sleep, all the craziness, all the drinking, it just sort of caught up with me. And this was the day after full moon party or half moon party or one of those parties, and a lot of times we are encouraged to go out and party with our guests and stuff, and a lot of times we actually still have to work really early the next day because people are checking out and stuff, so you can really actually get no sleep. You just go from party to work. That was one of these days where I just went from going to the party and going straight to work, and as I was working, as I was checking people out, as I was restocking the fridge, as I was cleaning, as I was doing my thing, I did feel off and I felt really sick, but it wasn't really dawning on me why that was happening. I just thought I was hungover and I thought I was tired, but I did recognize, like, I just feel really off today, or I feel like out of it, or I feel kind of sick. But again, I just sort of equated it to me being hungover or me being tired, or lack of sleep, haven't eaten anything, maybe I need to get hydrated. And having low potassium can actually really mess up with that. It's really sometimes very hard to stay hydrated because if you don't have enough potassium, you can't actually like hold on to some nutrition, and that's including water. Like your body doesn't hold on to it as long as it's supposed to if your potassium is too low, so you can also get really dehydrated. And so this is going on for like an hour or so, and then I went upstairs to tell my manager something. And I went upstairs to tell my manager that I wasn't feeling well. Not my manager, my boss, the one who kicked me out. So I went upstairs to tell him, like, I need to lay down, because I think it did start to dawn on me that I think it might be my potassium. I think I'm probably going to go into a seizure. And I never really like to do that in front of people because people freak out a lot. I mean, justly so. But sometimes I feel like a lot of times, once the seizure passes, I'm kind of okay. It's not like life-threatening usually, so I kind of just like, I can feel myself about to go into one, and so I'll go private and do it when no one can see me. So I can feel myself getting sick. I can feel myself getting to that point. I think it finally hit me, like, oh, I think this is what's going on. So I went upstairs to tell my boss, like, I need to lay down. I'm really sick. And I went upstairs. He was standing by the back door, and I got to the top of the staircase, and he turned around. And I went, you. And as soon as I said half his name, I just started spasming, and then fell to the floor, spasming. And of course he ran over and he was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And he called everybody. He called like the maids, the cooks, the workers, my co-workers, guests, everybody started circling around me. He called people from the other hostel because, you know, it got to the point where it can get to the point where I will like just seize and then I'll stop, and then I'll keep seizing and and I'll stop, and then I'll do it again and do it again and do it again. And so it was looking really bad. And in my mind, I was like, I'm fine. I just got to get this out of my system. And I was trying to tell them I'm okay, but like I couldn't talk. And you know, everybody was circling around me trying to figure out what's happening. Call the hospital. What should we do? Like, oh my gosh, and like that was going on for like 10-15 minutes. And the thing is, it's like they weren't trying to, but they were actually making it kind of worse, because every time someone would touch my body, because my muscles aren't contracting and responding the way they should do, every time someone would touch me, I would just start seizing again. So they kept touching me and trying to shift me around and pull me around and, you know, move me here and there, and it was just like making the situation worse. It was just agitating the situation, even though they weren't trying to. And I was trying to like verbally say, like, don't touch me, but like I couldn't speak. And eventually they like got me. They brought a mattress out of the room. They got me onto the mattress. They got me on my side, and like they were fanning me and like, what should we do? Da da da. And then eventually, as I calmed down, I knew I needed some sugar. I needed some potassium in my system. So I started saying like soda, like really like trying to force the words out of my mouth, like soda, water. So they like brought like literally every brand of soda they could find. They brought Sprite, Coke, Pepsi, orange soda, purple soda, like whatever. They brought water, like tea, like anything they could think of that was liquid. They brought it, and they like all put it next to my mouth, because I was still like laying on my side, and put straws in it, and I was just like sipping from like the ones I knew that would probably be the best ones for me. And then I started feeling better. Like I thought, like, okay, I'm feeling better. I got some sugar in my system. I'm okay. All right, I'm good. And so I was like, you know, I don't want to lay out here on this mattress, like all contorted in front of everybody. So I started asking people, like, if they can take me to my room. And so they hesitated, but they picked me up, like one guy on each side, and like brought me down, and because he had to take me out of the building and take me to another building and take me to my room, and which I just think agitated the situation. And so like, and this is when I started to realize like the temporary paralysis started kind of kicking in, where I wasn't really able to talk, I wasn't able to really walk on my own, I wasn't able to like turn over on my own. And I was like, okay, like a part of me, like, because like I said, I've had 2 really bad episodes in my life where I was hospitalized, and I was like, I really hope this is not what's about to happen. So I can kind of feel like creeping in, but I was like, no, I'm okay, I just need to rest. And so they take me to my room and they lay me down, and it's really like people were trying to understand what's happening. Like, again, a lot of people have never heard of this, so they don't know what, when you're trying to explain to them, they're like, what are you talking about? So I managed to get get somebody to help me turn on my YouTube, because I've actually saved a program about this condition on saved in my YouTube profile on my homepage, because I always saved it thinking I might have to explain this to somebody someday, and I might not be able to adequately explain it to them. So I got somebody to turn on my YouTube. I told them to watch that video. So they watched it, and they kind of watched it, and they were like, okay, this was happening, okay, but I still think they were kind of confused. And this is when I started to realize, okay, the temporary paralysis is kind of kicking in. I was like literally laying there like a paralyzed person. Like I couldn't roll over, I couldn't really speak, I couldn't like try to talk, and it's like, oh, you can't get your words out. And I was like starting to kind of freak out, because I was like, I really do not want to get hospitalized in Thailand. I don't want this to be one of those cases. But I was trying to stay calm, like it's fine, I just need to rest. And then like the guy who was looking after me was like, okay, I'm gonna go get you something. He was like, oh, you need potassium, you need supplements. Okay. So he was like, okay, I'll be back, I'm gonna go get it. And I think he didn't bring back potassium, he brought back something else. But anyway, like sorry, I'm not looking at the camera enough, I'm just like thinking of the story in my head. But anyway, like when he left, that's when I started to realize, like, I started having like a hard time breathing. And that had never happened to me before, even though I've heard that it can happen when you get the temporary paralysis. It can actually affect your breathing. So like this condition can actually be really dangerous. I don't think I have a severe case of it. I think mine is sort of like minimum to like moderate once in a blue moon, but it's usually just minimum. I know the story sounds bad, but like I said, like this is like a severe case. This doesn't usually happen that often. Like this is probably, out of my whole life, this is the 3rd time it's happened like this badly. And so I started noticing like I'm not breathing properly, and my breath started getting very, like I started like not breathing for periods of time, and then breathing again, and then not breathing, and not being able to breathe, and not being able to breathe, and not being able to breathe, and then breathing again, and just like, okay, this is starting to freak me out. And then time in between started getting longer and longer, where I was like in my mind trying to kick and get myself to breathe, because I can feel myself running out of oxygen and not being able to breathe, and then breathing again. And it's like, okay, no, this is getting serious. Like this has never happened. I'm starting to freak out. I remember, I heard the stories that this can happen, but nobody was in the room with me, and I was just like, like trying to like scream for help, but I couldn't say anything. And so luckily the guy who was bringing me back the supplement came back in the room, and he heard me going, like, he can hear me struggling, and he was like, what's happening? And I was just like looking at him, and I couldn't really talk, but like giving him, like trying to give him the notice, like something's really bad. And he was like, okay, fuck, shit, oh my gosh. So he like called his friends down and was like, we gotta get to the hospital right now. And then like as they were carrying me down, I think they can see me doing that, and they were like, fuck, she's not breathing, breathe Shamika. Like they laid me down, and okay, so like it wasn't funny when it happened, but now when I look back on it, they laid me down on the outside patio where all like the gypsy pillows were at and stuff. And my shirt from them, because like when they were picking me up and carrying me, I was like this, and so my shirt and my bra pretty much like lifted up, and my tits were just out. And I know they might be more concerned about me getting to the hospital, but it was, can someone pull my fucking bra down? Like my tits are just like, and like they laid me down, and my tits were just out. Like, no one could like pull my fucking shirt down. Anyway, I'm sure they had other things in mind. I wouldn't want to think they were trying to take advantage of the situation and just lay me there. Like, I can, like, I'm out of it, but I'm aware of what's going on. I'm aware that my boobs are just out and everyone's just staring at me with my boobs out. Okay. Anyway, they G.I. Joe'd this like pickup, this like open pickup truck, like one of those like island ones with no roof and stuff, and they G.I. Joe'd it, like backed it up into the parking lot and got me up, and they put like a little twin size mattress inside and they put me in, and one guy like had my head in his lap and they were all around me and they're like, breathe Shamika, you can do it, and they're like and I'm doing this the whole time, and like I'm really freaking out the whole time though. I'm really like, I am going to die, like I can't breathe, and it was getting longer, and I think there was a point where I really stopped breathing for a while, but I think my eyes, in my mind, I'm not sure what I looked like, but in my mind I think my eyes were like bugging, and I was just sitting there and I'm like, I can't breathe, like trying to get myself to breathe, and my boss was like looking over me and was like, breathe Shamika, you can do it, and breathing again, and finally they get me to the hospital. I don't know what was going on. This was all like a blur because I just got picked up and rushed out of the truck and put on a gurney and rushed into the hospital, and they were asking all these questions like, what's wrong with her, and then the lady started like trying to prick me with a needle, and then it's the same thing. Every time she would touch me, I would like start spasming, and I was just like, oh, stop pricking me. And they got me oxygen, and the guy that I showed the video to started speaking to the nurses, like, I think this is wrong with her, I think this is what she needs some potassium, blah, blah, blah. So that's what the nurses started doing. They started giving me intravenously through the IV potassium. They gave me oxygen right away because they saw that I was having a hard time breathing. And it was just like a lot of chaos. And the thing was, when I first got there though, they weren't listening, and that was really irritating. And then the guy that was there with me was getting really upset because they were like, I'm trying to tell you what's wrong with her, and they were just kind of like, move sir, move it out of the way, and he was like, no, like, I'm trying to tell you. And at first for the first minute or so, I felt like they were doing all the wrong things, and I was just like, no, and like in my head, like, this is what I need. And so eventually they listened to him, and I think another woman came. And by the way, the hospitals in Thailand are really good. Like, you know, I've heard people say like, oh my god, can you imagine like having to go to a hospital in a third world country? Like, the hospitals are really well here, especially in like Bangkok and more modern areas, big city areas. They have like their traditional local Thai hospitals too, but they have very westernized hospitals. They have public, private, big hospitals, small hospitals. They have very good dentists here if you want to get any dentistry done. I know this was a little bit aside, but I don't want people to think like, oh my gosh, like they didn't speak English. They all spoke English. Like, most of the doctors here go to European or westernized colleges and they come back to Thailand. Not that I'm saying that universities in Thailand aren't efficient. I'm just saying a lot of them do go to universities outside of their country and then they come back. So the hospitals are very modern here, very well equipped here. You do not have to worry if you have to come to the hospital in Thailand. And yeah, like I said, they have the local ones, which I'm sure is adequate, but they have the westernized ones. So just get yourself to a westernized one if you can. Anyway, back to the story. They eventually started listening to him, and then they gave me the things what I need, and eventually through a bunch of chaos and randomness, everything started to calm down, and I started breathing, and I got my feeling back, and my function in my body back, and my potassium level started leveling off, and I was fine. And oh wait, no, that's not the end of the story. Eventually they were like, okay, we need to we need to get her out of here. We need to take her off the island because this hospital there is pretty small. So they ran me from the hospital, took me, and I think I like passed out. Like, I feel like I knew what was going on, but I don't remember seeing anything. I kind of a blur. They took me to a boat, got me in a boat, took me to Koh Samui, and then Koh Samui, went to the hospital in Koh Samui, and then I think I just passed out. I was asleep or something. They gave me more potassium intravenously. They just washed after me. I think they just wanted to wash me overnight and, you know, watch my vital signs. The next day I woke up. My friend never left my side. He was there the whole time, did all my paperwork, and they brought me some food. I ate, and it was just kind of like, that was it. Like, I was still really kind of groggy and out of it and tired, but they wanted to keep me longer. I decided to check out, as I felt like I'm a bad patient. Like, I'm the one that's like, I don't want a doctor. I'm fine. I know my leg is missing, but I'm okay. Like, that's me. So I was like, I think I'm okay though. I really do. I know this looks very dramatic, everybody, but I think I'm okay. I don't feel the temporary paralysis anymore. I can feel my potassium levels are fine now. I think I'm fine. I can go home. So we left the hospital. We got on a ferry. I was still very tired, and I think we got back to the hostel, and I slept for the rest of the day. I think I got up really late at night. Everybody was gone. The hostel was already closed down. Then I think I got something to eat, and I went back to bed, and that's it. That's the end of the story. That is my emergency room visit in Thailand. And if you guys ever like listen to my other story about me getting kicked out of this same hostel and the way the people had treated me, this is one of the reasons why I forgave them, and this is one of the reasons why it also hurt really bad when it happened, and this is one of the reasons why I was so confused, because they were there for me big time. They didn't pull down my shirt when my tits were out, but they were there for me, and really, like, they stood there and made sure I was okay the whole time, and so that's why I felt so secure and safe there. That's why I felt like they had my back, and that's why I didn't think I needed a plan B when I was working there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to like look at the other story, but yeah, they had my back. And so what is the lesson? What is the lesson I learned here? If you have an illness, if you have a condition, like, don't let your pride get in the way. Tell people around you that you have a problem. So if something does happen, if it was just one other person, just tell them that you have an issue. So if something happens, at least there's somebody who knows what you're going through and knows the problem. Especially if you're like allergic to certain medications or something like that. If you need some type of special medical needs, let somebody know, especially if you're in a foreign country. Have some type of emergency contact. I think now in Thailand, when you do your extension, they do actually ask you for an emergency contact. Have a backup plan, have all your medication, have medical insurance, and just take care of yourself. Like, I know having fun is amazing, but you still have to take care of yourself. You gotta give your body what it needs. So that's the lesson that I've learned, and that's it. Tell me what you guys think about my story time video. And also, I'm gonna do some more story time videos, but I want to give you guys a choice. So my next story time video, I kind of feel like the last few has been kind of like the most stressful moments of my life since I've been traveling, but I don't want to always share those with you. So okay, these are the choices. So I can either tell you my really funny Tinder video, my Tinder story. B, the time I thought I nearly died in Thailand. I thought I was gonna die. Or 3, my LSD story. So those are the 3 choices. So let me know in the comment section which the next one you want to hear. Time I nearly thought I was gonna die, my LSD experience, or my funny Tinder story. Let me know. Hey guys, like this story if you want to like it. If you want to share this video, please share it. It really helps. And if you want to continue to follow me on my crazy journey called life, please subscribe. And thank you guys from Live, Love, Life, and Travel.
Don't touch my hair when it's the feelings I wear.